Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Jackson-Madison County Commissioner meeting. The day is Monday, May the 15th. It is 8:30. We're meeting at the Madison County at West Tennessee Research and Education Center, 605 Airways, right here in Jackson, Tennessee. We'll all rise. Commissioner Wall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today we've got Commissioner Carl Alexander from District 10 is going to lead us in our invocation and pledge.
Y'all bow with me, please. Heavenly Father, we're gathered before you this morning as humble but thankful servants. Humble in the fact that we are not worthy of all the blessings you give us, but thankful that you give them anyway. Lord, we ask for your leadership and guidance today as we do the people's business here in front of you. We ask for your forgiveness when we fall short. And all these things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Abernathy.
Here.
Aday.
Here.
Alexander. Here. Arnold. Yes. Black. Fine.
Here.
Brown.
Yeah.
Bryant. Cindy.
Here.
Bryant. Mike.
Here.
Keaton.
Here.
Ellison.
Here.
Godwin. Bell.
Yep.
Hall. Here. Dick.
Here.
Johnson. Arthur. Here. Jones.
Present.
Martin.
Here.
Mercer.
Here.
Montague.
Here.
Neal.
Here.
Taylor.
Here.
Tippett. Here. Wall.
Here.
Watson. One absent.
Yes, sir.
24 present.
24 present, one absent.
Excuse me, I didn't hear my name called.
I got you, Ms. Godwin. Thank you.
Did you get me?
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
Item number 3, report for the county mayor.
No reports.
No report. Item number 4, announcement from the chair. No announcement. Number 5, announcement from the school superintendent.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I think Ms. Bell is about to we pull a black card first for you. Yeah, so this morning we will be recognizing our ACT 30-plus students. We're giving them a credit card with their name on it here. And it's called a black card. And what this black card does, it gives them access to all of these things that, as long as they're students, and then up to their 20th birthday. So parking passes, locker fees, anything that's school fee related, we're taking care of that. Anything second vendor, they'll take care of. We have a luncheon at Doubletree this morning, and also the seniors will be receiving laptops to take off to college. We want to recognize our 30-plus students, and this is an extraordinary achievement when you score a 30 or above in ACT. So as we recognize students in the arts, we recognize students in athletics, we also want to recognize students who are doing well academically. So our 30-plus Black Card membership, we'll be initiating them today and recognizing them for this great achievement. The second thing I want to share with you all, now since this copy, I started with Commissioner Johnson, and it's coming around, and that is our general budget, just kind of an update. The board will be meeting in a special call meeting tomorrow to discuss the budget. I'll be meeting with the budget committee on Thursday to go in more details. But what I think is important to avoid any communication breakdowns, this information that will be shared with both committees so that we can all be on the same page and there will not be a gap in communications. One of the things that I want to share with the commission is, 3 budgets that I'll talk about during the budget committee, but 3 areas I want to talk about quickly is our successes, our investments, and then our requests. So if you notice, we have 10 successes that we're very proud of, and then our district becoming a level 5 district, has been a level 1 school system for many, many years, and now we're level 5. We moved from a satisfactory standing to an advancing standing. We have 9 reward schools, 13 level 5 schools. We moved ACT scores up by half a point. We've gone from 85% grad rate to 90% grad rate. And you can see now our board is a school board of distinction, and as well, we received the Excellence in Education Award, the only system in the state of Tennessee this past year. Our investments, if you notice in the middle section, we have moved our salary rankings for beginning salary from 108 to 60. And that was because of the investment that we have put in our employees. We have secured nurses for all of our schools, except for JASA. We have improved our fund balance from $13 million to $20 million audited. Over the past 3 years, we have absorbed insurance premium for employees. And you can see a list of others. And so we'll be talking with the budget committee around our request. But I wanted the full commission to see that, our successes, our investments, so that we celebrate together around the work that's happening in our public school system. The last thing I would like to share with you all is contributions and gifts. I think oftentimes you don't hear about the contributions and gifts. You might hear about expenditures, but you don't hear about the revenues that have come in to our school system over the past 3 years. And so these are revenues. One of the things I wanted to do when I came was solicit support from businesses around professional development for our teachers and around ways that we can recognize and celebrate our students as well as our staff. And so over the past 3 years, those are contributions that have come in. But if you look at the grand total of contributions that have come in over the past 3 years, they run around $279,000 in just gifts and contributions that we've received over the past 3 years. And so that speaks to what's happening in our community around the public school system. People want to give, people want to help, and we're trying to do everything that we can get to get around to get this support. And so I just want to share this with you all. Are there any questions?
Any questions? Commissioner Hale.
Man, that black card thing's pretty cool. How many,
We have 28 students
28
that we'll be recognizing today, and their families at Doubletree Hotel for reception.
Wonderful. That is, I'd like to get one. I don't know if I could.
I shared it with my son this morning.
I don't think I can earn one.
And it's just like the new credit cards, the metal credit cards, you get the black card. So I shared it with my son this morning, saying, you think you can become a black card member? And I started talking about all the perks that will come with being a black card holder in the school system. And one of the things I wanted to do, oftentimes when students leave and go off to college, they do come back home for the next 2 years. And so when they come back, they still have access to the games and to sporting events, just not the fees, but at least to events. So.
Sure. Well, thank you for your work in that. What do you think the timeline is for receiving a budget?
So the budget tomorrow will go before the school board, and we'll be if we get some numbers, I think Karen King will have some numbers today around it. We might, I don't know. But we're going to bring what we have. I tell you that.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Commissioner Arnold.
Dr. King, that almost, what was it, $250,000, $300,000 that you brought in, that's a small part of this. The biggest thing that I could see, the number of community leaders, business people, teachers that show, I couldn't believe it. I don't know how many million, how many hundreds were there, what, 300, 400 people?
350.
It shows a lot of support.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Any other questions? Commissioner Brown?
No, I was trying to do it.
Everybody get a copy? All righty.
Since you recognize me, thank the community.
I didn't mean to do that.
You call my little name. Thank the community and the generous, it shows the generous heart of our community. All businesses are not just out to make money. They're here to make our community better. And the thing is, if you have something worthy of my giving, it makes a difference. I'd like to give them all a big applause.
Thank you, Commissioner Brown.
Yes, sir.
I need to move back to item number 2. I need someone to make a motion to approve the minutes of April 17th meeting.
Motion approved.
Have a motion?
Second.
Have a second? Anybody have any comments? Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Move to item number 6. I believe we already got the jail progress. Any report, anything, Roger? Thank you, sir. Item number 7, report from the Chamber of Commerce. Come on down.
It's all right. Good morning, guys.
I can't hear you up there. We got, a lot of folks can't hear real well.
What's that? Thank you so much for having me in today. I'll try and be brief with these here. We've got a few things that we're working on. We're working with several existing companies in competitive situations on possible expansions, and hopeful that there will be local announcements on those soon. Along that same line with those current local people, we met with Tennessee Board of Regents, hosted a meeting with architect Jeff Holmes to talk about the Regional Workforce Development Center. That'll be coming up. That's a $34.6 million project that the Chamber has been working with you all for 6 years to try and get, and so we're very excited that it's finally coming to fruition. Continue to meet regularly with Dixie Jackson as they're working through their process on staffing, community engagement, and all of the efforts that they're going to be doing as they become a partner of our community. Additionally, we're working very closely with 6K, a company that just announced everything on permitting, site planning, utilities, workforce. We're talking to them daily still and working through those conversations. We were in Boston April 30th through May 1st talking with them about workforce needs. The company currently has its top 4 positions posted on Indeed.com. So if you know anybody looking to be a plant manager, operations manager, senior HR business partner, or an engineer manager, please encourage them to go and look. I think one of the things that makes me the most excited about them coming is they were also just recently recognized by Forbes as the best startup employer for 2022. So a great addition to our community. And then probably the most important thing as we continue is that we are continuing to court other companies interested in new locations and marketing available sites in our community. So I just appreciate all that you guys do and allow us to do on your behalf.
Why don't you, you're taking Ryan Porter's place in some sense. Give him a little description of your job title, man. You never gave him your name.
Thank you. Kyle Barron, I am Chief Community Development Officer for the Greater Jackson Chamber. I'm focused in on small business, public and governmental affairs, and just happy to be here this morning.
Well, good to have you.
Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Wall.
Kyle, thank you for coming and giving us a report. I'd like to know, are you still in talks with Great Wolf, or what's the deal? What's the latest on Great Wolf Live?
Yeah, so continued conversations are ongoing, and I haven't signed an NDA, but I know enough people have that I probably should say continued conversations are ongoing, and I'll stop at that.
That's good.
But I do know that it make its way through legislation and may be coming to you guys.
Mayor.
Yeah, we were in a meeting 2 weeks ago with their leadership staff and their site development folks. That $20 million that was promised in the budget that was pulled because of COVID is back. And so once the budget gets completely ratified on the state level, that $20 million is in the Tennessee Economic Development Commission's budget, so it's there, ready to go. Right now, what's being worked out is the contract between the IDB's attorney and Great Wolf Lodge's attorney. Really no hiccups to be seen there. That should go well. It's just kind of ironing out some things about how it's going to look and feel and all that good stuff. Hope to have something to report in the next couple of months, and then maybe even a groundbreaking this fall, under construction next spring. So the commission, I appreciate the commission passing the resolution to extend their ability to build out into 2024. So that was the first step. The state did their part, and so we're kind of out of the way right now. It's between the attorneys. Take that for what it is, but yeah, but it's still ongoing. I'm excited. I hope when it happens, I'm gonna tell everybody I told you so, and I hope y'all do too.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Commissioner Taylor.
I would like to recognize one of our constituents from District 10, Mr. Frankie Lax. Mr. Lax, could you come on down? He wants to address the...
You want to move 13 up,
I
though?
want to move 13 up, which is the constable position. And while he's coming down, I want everybody to know that the constable position will be supporting District 10, and all 3 commissioners, Mr. Watson, Mr. Hall, support Mr. Leary, and I'd like to recognize Mr. Lax.
I don't know if 13 was to appoint to fill a vacancy.
Lacey, I'm sorry.
Constable District number 5.
I'm here today to speak on behalf of the late Constable Philip Lacey. His wife of 45 years is here, Ellen, along with his son, David Lacey, and his wife, Olivia. District 5 was served by Philip Lacey for nearly 30 years as constable. He did his duty and did it with honor and integrity. I had the pleasure of serving with Philip Lacey at District 5 for 20 of those years. He was my partner and he was my friend. I received a call from Philip Lacey and he wanted to come visit with me at my office. His wife Ellen brought him to my office and we had a private meeting. And he came in my office and he looked me in the eye and he says, "The Lord is calling me home. I'm not long for this world." And he told me that he had himself prepared spiritually and personally. And he had one final thing that he wanted to address. He says, "I have a dying man's wish and I need your help." He says, "My son has told me that he wanted to serve my expired term when I pass, and I need your help with that since I serve with you in District 5. He understands the duties. He has the flexibility in his business to be able to serve papers, to work airport duty, and other things that the constables do in Madison County." And I gave him my word that day that I would do everything I could to support him, support his wish, and support his son, David Lacey. Unfortunately, there are other constables in other parts of this county that don't support this appointment, and that's very disappointing. So today I'm asking the county commission to honor the late Philip Lacey, who served Madison County honorably for 30 years, to allow his son to fulfill his unexpired term today. Thank you.
Floor is open for nominations. Any other nominations?
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to comment with regard to nominations that, number one, we regret the loss of the Constable Lacey, but it's been traditionally a practice of our commission, going back to Commissioner Mitchell, Brantley, when a person was in office and a family member, especially immediate family member, is interested, that we would look at special consideration, and I would value that tradition, even in this situation.
Thank
It would
you,
be a
Commissioner
tribute to
Brown.
him.
Commissioner Godwin.
I like Ed's I think his nephew Lacey used to always come to, I talk to my dad in the country on his way to Carroll, whatever county. So there was a relationship, but as I concur with Commissioner Brown in regard to so many times when someone, especially while they're serving, it's not the end of the term, generally there is support for the person that family member that asked for the position. And, it's not always the case, but I do know if we ask how many times we have not supported that, it'll be very few. So that leads me to the conclusion that, as much as I know I met the other person and his credentials are fine, I just think, you want to do right, so right will follow. That's the type of person I am. I feel that regardless, we all bleed red, and we know what's right and what's wrong. And so I'm just saying, with the family being here and asking for asking that the son take his place, can we not do this? This is something that we cannot do, even though there may be a recommendation from the caucus. I'm asking the Republican caucus to step back and support Mr. Lacey.
Thank you, Ms. Godwin. Any other nominations? Need more other nominations? Roll call for Mr. Lacey.
Abernathy.
Yes.
Ade. Alexander.
Yes.
Arnold.
Yes.
Black. Bond.
Yes. Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Bryant Cindy.
Yes.
Bryant Mike.
Yes.
Deaton.
Yes.
Ellison.
Yes.
Godwin. Hill.
Yes.
Hall.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Hicks?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Mercer?
Yes.
Montague?
Yes.
Nehal?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Tippit?
Yes.
Wall?
Yes.
Watson?
Yes.
Does he have to be sworn in?
I got 23 yeses, 1 pass, 1 absent.
Can you swear him in now?
Sir?
You want to swear him in this morning?
No, I didn't bring the oath. I'm not
Okay.
ready to. I mean, if you
All right. 23 yeses,
One
one
pass,
pass,
one
one absent. Motion to fill that vacancy is filled by Mr. Lacy. What's the sworn-in policy?
Well, we have, his surety bond, I think he's covered under the umbrella policy, so we'll have to get with Mr. Winslow. And once he has that in place, then we'll swear him in my office, no problem, or wherever he wants to do it.
Okay. Mr. Lack?
We will make arrangements. I know that Mr. Birmingham usually swears, but since he's law enforcement, he'll be sworn in by a judge, and we'll make arrangements
Okay.
to do that and get the paperwork to Mr. Cunningham at the appropriate time.
Very
Thank you.
good. Thank you.
Commissioner.
Okay, let's see where we are now. How about item number 8, report from Lori Nunnery? Lori not here. Item number 9, report from the Finance Director, Mrs. Karen Bell.
Good morning. The first thing I have is, I know that we talked about the jail. We are working with, Finance is working with Lashley Rich to close out the jail so that we'll know exactly how much funding we have left over. So hopefully we'll have that at next month's meeting. We're waiting for them to verify the numbers and see where we are on that. We are also I'm working with Mayor Massey and Trustee Burkhead on revisions to our investment policy. The state has also requested that we come up with a cash flow balance policy. So we will be working together on that, and we've met once and we've gotten some information together, so you'll be hearing more about that in the coming weeks. Right now, March revenues and expenses, we are 3.8 million ahead. Of course, March is a good month because that's when all the property taxes pretty much closed out. We hope that we continue to track like that for the year because that will return money back into our fund balance. Sales tax for the month of March was 2.82% ahead of where it was prior year, and for year to date, we're 8.8% ahead on sales tax. Fund balance, if you'll remember, you have a policy adopted of 15% fund balance. Right now, you are at 37.78% with the fund balance of 18.4 million. Amendments have been down this year on draw on fund balance, with the largest amendment being the one for the adjustment to the certified tax rate that we did back in August of 1.1 million. So financially, we're doing very well for this time of year, and we hope we continue to track for the remaining 3 months of the fiscal year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bell. Anybody have any questions for Ms. Bell?
Does that mean I get a raise? I'm just saying.
Item number 10, report from county officials, standing special committees, old business, action thereof by this board. Commissioner Alexander.
Yes, sir. Chairman Deaton, we have one item from a committee report from the Highway Committee, which is to remove Youthtown Road from the road list and it'll no longer be a public road. That was approved and sent forward as a committee recommendation from the
Committee
Highway
recommendation, no second required. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Any other committee reports? Commissioner Hale.
Yes, sir. This is a continuation from last month where the Personnel Committee met on April 5th. We tabled this to be reviewed by Budget, and they have made the same recommendation we have. The county insurance broker, Ormer Smith, with Canopy Nation, presented and proposed renewal insurance costs. The Personnel Committee approved and is making the following recommendations. We'll do them separately. There's 3. We'll just take them one at a time to alleviate confusion. Take on any questions. So the recommendation is to renew the administrative services agreement with Blue Cross with an increased cost of $5,916. Renew the reinsurance at the increased cost of $150,662, and increase the contribution to the claims fund in the amount of $240,000 for the fiscal year 23-24.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Ellis.
Yes, thank you. I would like increased cost. Now, who's that cost to the county employee?
The total renewal increase is $396,578. We can go into the contributions here next. Unless, I mean, Jay, should I take them all at once, or does it matter?
No, you take them one at a time. He'll answer that on the next issue.
Pardon?
He's gonna answer that on the next proposal.
We can talk about, that's the next one coming.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you.
I have a
Commissioner Godwin.
Could you tell me the increase, what's the difference in increase from the last increase? What's the cost?
We haven't
increase?
had, I think the struggle we've had in years past, and they covered this in committee, was we've not gone up year by year, and several years back, that caught us in surprise. We had to do like a 17 or 20% increase, which was not good governance. And so we're trying to take small increases as they come, and as we know, with inflation and the cost of care and insurance is up nationally, globally, and so this is just an effect that we're feeling locally.
We try to maintain 75 county pays, 25 employee pays. Any other questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
The next is to increase the employee contribution to the total amount of $8.66 per month for employee only, $17.34 per month for employee plus one, and $26 per month for family coverage. So committee recommendation.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion?
I have a question. Is this comparable to how much of a percentage of raise that we give employees?
I think it's changing about $1 a month. There's, Terry, I don't have the numbers in front of me.
I'm sorry.
It's a very small increase that they'll feel compared to what we're hoping. We've asked from budget, they've asked directors, department heads to estimate a 5% total. Now, that doesn't mean everyone's going to get a 5% raise, but we're doing estimations right now. So they should still be in the net positive with what's coming from budget, which has not yet been approved. So we're still in the works for that.
Commissioner Ellis.
I guess my question here, you said it doesn't mean that everyone's gonna get a 5% raise.
Well, yeah, it's going to depend on the department head. Like we're going to budget for it, but they may not give it.
Why not?
They may be brand new.
It doesn't matter, the employees.
Just
To the department heads.
We don't have control.
That's department head responsibility.
I know I've only served in this county for 5 years, but I'm shocked that you don't know that.
I guess, in my opinion, if we give them a 5% raise, every employee should get a 5% raise.
So noted.
Right?
So noted. That's your opinion.
Okay.
Committee recommendation.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Have one no. Commissioner Ellis.
Show me as abstaining, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Walsh abstained. Commissioner Brown abstained.
No, China.
Oh, roll call.
Mr. Brown, you were in committee, voted for it in committee. I don't understand.
Call for a roll call, vote in.
Roll call.
Call for a roll call, no more conversation than that.
Abernathy.
Yes.
Aday.
Yes.
Alexander.
Yes.
Arnold.
Yes.
Black. Fine.
Yes.
Brown.
Abstain.
Bryant. Cindy.
Yes. Yes.
Bryant. Mike.
Yes.
Keaton.
Yes.
Ellison.
No.
Godwin.
Passed.
Pat?
Hill?
Yes.
Hall?
Yes.
Hicks?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Martin?
No.
Mercer?
No.
Montague?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Neoff?
Yes.
Taylor?
He's gone.
Tippit?
Yes.
Wall?
Abstain.
Watson?
Yes. Mr. Chairman, while the votes are being counted, my only reason for abstaining is that if I cannot assure to every employee that the raise we give them is gonna hit them equally on the insurance increase, then that's what makes me uncomfortable.
Anybody want to change their vote?
I just want to add to,
Well, we can, well, let's get the vote count, then we'll, you can.
Okay. 17 yes, 3 no, 3 pass, 1 absent. Check it out.
It's 24.
Well, no, because
That's not right. You got
missing one
two.
still.
You got two.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 17 yes, 3 no. I got 2 absent, that's why.
That's right. 17 yeses, 3 noes, 3 pass, 2 absent. Motion passes. Commissioner Godwin.
okay. I have a question. In regard to the, person in the office that makes that decision, what's the guideline in the handbook in regard to how they make decisions in regard to?
Ms. Godwin, when the budget is passed, the constitutional officers will receive that budget. They can spend that money as they choose fit, no matter whatever was
So
proposed
no
on the
matter
floor.
what we say,
You don't have any control over how they spend it,
no matter what we say.
no matter what we say.
Okay, well, that's not good. That's not
That's why
good.
it's so important that we fund them correctly and then the accountability follows. All right, number 3, the recommendation from committee was to renew the contract for the diabetic management program at an increased cost of $638 per participant for a total cost of $2,000 per participant per year for the 23-24 benefit year. Of course, I think there's around 16 employees that are on this, if that's still correct. We'd love for more folks to take advantage of that benefit, and of course, this is a committee recommendation.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Lastly, our fund balance and insurance as of today is $1,733,696.06. Just reminding everyone, we are self-funded in this way, and we'll continue to monitor that. We like to keep it around $2 million. It ebbs and flows, but as of this time last year, it's down about $100,000 as of February of '22. There's
Well, actually, it's down, it was over 2 million last month, I recall.
that's true. Just comparing, I guess, year to
Year to
year,
year,
but
okay.
it is less as of late. And so that is my committee report.
Thank you very much. That's just a good reminder that we are self-funded, that money can dry up overnight. Commissioner Alexander.
Another oddball coming out of Budget Committee. This one is everybody should have had it in their agenda packet.
One oddball, go ahead.
The agreement for extra duty between the Sheriff Department and JEA. That did come out, it was, like I say, it should be in everybody's packet. That was a committee recommendation.
I will say it again.
It was the agreement between JEA and the Sheriff's Department.
Committee recommendation, any other comments? Martin, do you want to add something? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? No. No more committee reports? Item number 11, report from County Mayor.
Thank you, Chairman. There's a whole lot going on in the mayor's office, but I'll just be brief. We had our health fair this last week, and we had several participants with that, so I want to thank everybody who participated and came by, well attended, and hopefully that grows in the future. That's an opportunity for our employees to come and see all the benefits that our community partners offer in one place, and they're able to do business right there in the building. Open enrollment for our county employees begins tomorrow at noon. They'll do that online, so department heads, if you didn't know that, now you know. And lastly, I would like to ask the commission to suspend the rules to take back up the West Tennessee Healthcare Board of Directors appointment that was made in April of Elaine Christian. Turns out that is not our appointment this year. Our appointment is next year. This is the city. And the city actually made that appointment a couple of weeks before we did, so the message didn't get through. So we appointed somebody, and under statute, they can't have 6 board members, only 5. So we have to, we're going to rescind Ms. Christensen and suspend the rules to do that, please.
Commissioner,
Make a motion, we suspend the rules.
Second.
have a motion second to suspend the rules. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
All right, I just need someone to make a motion.
I need a motion for the floor.
Ms. Christensen's appointment.
So moved.
Second that.
What's the motion?
To rescind the appointment that was unnecessary.
Elaine Christensen.
Have a motion second, who second that? Commissioner, no, you know. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Thank y'all.
And just finally, I just want to say thank you to the commissioners. This is heavy times. You guys are making a lot of decisions. Guys and ladies are making lots of decisions. So I just wanted to say thank you. I see the time you spend, and know you don't get paid enough, Mr. Brown. But I appreciate your efforts and your time for our county and our citizens. It means a lot.
Oh, you just love me so much.
Item number 12, any amendments or transfers to the general fund, school department, capital projects, highway department, debt service, juvenile court service budget for fiscal year 22 to 23. Commissioner Alexander.
Monthly budget amendments. First off, from fund balance, $10,000 out of capital. This is a capital request to finish some unforeseen issues with dirt work, drainage, and concrete after construction of the building. This is for EMA.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Item 22 on the sheriff's department, it was for $5,664.67 out of capital fund. It's an insurance recovery for damage to one of the sheriff's department units, number 7004. It was totaled. This does not have any impact on fund balance.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Next item is for $29,945 out of the capital fund. These funds are from the sale of old sheriff's vehicles through Gov Deals. It does not impact fund balance.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Next is the highway department, $117,100.95. It's reimbursement received from Parks and Rec for work done by the highway department at Fred Young Park that was approved by the COB. It's just returning these funds to the highway fund.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Commissioner Arnold.
Mr. Chairman, that reimbursement is to a park that we don't have in Madison County. That's made the Fred Young Park. We presently have Fred Young facility. I would like to amend that motion to rename Fred Young Park let me see here. Fred Young Park, Madison County Equestrian Complex. And of course, I feel very strongly that we don't need to be serving alcohol in any park that belongs to Madison County.
Have a motion second. Commissioner Hale.
Can I just have a parliamentarian, what, was that a motion to rename it during the amendments?
An amendment to his motion.
So we're just renaming what we're moving the money to? Or we're renaming the whole park?
I don't know if we can fund as it's stated. We don't have a Fred Young Park. We have a Fred Young facility. That's what you all did a couple of months ago. You need to rename it
So
to
you're saying
Fred Young
it's a
Park.
typo? You're saying it's a typo?
Let's get a
Yes.
Commissioner, County
Commissioner
Attorney.
Arnold's correct. The commission voted to rename the park. It's now, I don't know exactly what it's called, something about Fred Young Park Equestrian
No,
Facility.
It's a facility, whatever that is.
Right, but it's no longer called Fred Young Park. So the motion is to amend the budget amendment to put the correct name in.
That's what I heard.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's.
okay.
We're voting on the amendment. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Now the motion.
Now the motion, reimbursements for $117,100.95 received from Parks and Rec for work done at the Fred Young Park, Madison County Equestrian Center or Complex, approved by the CLB, funds being returned to the highway fund. Right?
Committee recommendation, no second required. All in favor say aye. Aye. Now let's go back and just rehearse what we just did. We changed the name to what?
Fred Young Park, Madison County Equestrian Complex.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, it's the Madison County Equestrian Center, Fred Young Facility.
Yeah.
That's the name that we voted in.
Okay.
So that's what it's changing.
Center or complex?
Center.
Complex.
Complex, okay. We got this.
We never done that, Mr. Chairman, we did that at another meeting. Commissioner Arnold is just correcting the budget amendment for the proper name of the
I
facility.
got you. Oh, I see what you did. Okay. You just changed the name for I got you. All right. Go right ahead.
25.
25.
Health Department, current services, $20,000, special purpose, transferring from other salaries and wages and medical insurance to remittance of revenue collection and drugs and medical supplies.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Next is human resources, $13,257.44. Budget amendment to adjust overages and line items, which include major categories. No new money is being requested.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Commissioner Wall.
Can we take 27 through 32 all at once? I make a motion we take 27 through 32 all at once. There's no new money and it's no new money in grants.
Do I have a second?
That's there.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. 27 through 31.
27, Health Department for $26,200 is transferred from other salary and wages to county official, medical director, and part-time lines. 28, Health Department Solid Waste Convenience Centers, $32,975, transferring from salary line items to miscellaneous refunds to overtime pay and equivalent lines. This involves major categories. 29, Health Department Family Planning was for $7,700, transferring from other salaries and wages to medical insurance and drugs and medical supplies. 30, Health Department Rabies Control was $20,300, transferring money to salary and benefit lines to cover year-end estimates. 31 was the Fire Department for $29,000, state money for in-service payment to volunteers and paid firefighters that was not in the budget. 32 was Fire Department, $28,000 for grant money for turnouts, gloves, hoods, and boots.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
We have one for $60,000, school nutrition, requesting to add funds for food services and equipment.
Committee recommendation, no second required. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Rest of the items on this agenda of number 2 through number 20, I'll need a suspension of the rules because the Budget Committee did not approve these items.
You making a motion to suspend the rules?
Make a motion to suspend the rules.
You second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Move on with number 2. $6,700. This is out of the technology budget amendment to facilitate the inventory tagging and Google Admin Center edition of the 6,500 devices ordered with the ECF.
They have a motion.
So moved.
Have a motion? Second? Second?
Second.
Have a second, Commissioner Hicks. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. This was not a committee recommendation, so I need a motion from the floor and a second.
Number three, $266,829. Director's salary was not budgeted for fiscal year '23. There's been some changes in employees paid from other salaries and wages. Each benefits line needs adjustments as well. Internet connectivity as well as data processing and supplies had cost increases. Student laptops for testing were purchased from other equipment line items to ensure meeting testing regulations for spring assessments.
That in form of a motion?
That's form of motion.
Have a second?
I move it.
Second by Commissioner Martin.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Number four, for $507,340, maintenance of plant, amounts needed for projected salaries and benefits to close out fiscal year '23. Form of a motion.
Have a motion?
I move.
Have a second, Ms. Godwin. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Boy, y'all are quiet. Did I hear an aye?
Aye.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
$1,405,200, operations of plant, amounts needed for projected salary benefits and other expenditures to close out fiscal year '23. That's a form of a motion.
Have a motion? Need a second?
So moved.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
$240,753, human services, personnel, amounts needed to for projected salaries and benefits and other expenditures to close out fiscal year '23. That is the form of a motion.
Have a motion? Second?
So moved.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
$2, fiscal services, needed for projected benefits and other expenditures to close out fiscal year '23.
You say $2?
$2.
I'll object.
Have a form of motion?
That's
Need
a
a
form of
second?
motion.
Need a second?
Second.
Watch. Any other discussion?
That's wasteful spending.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? No.
$2,465,060, Office of Principal, amounts needed to project salaries, benefits, and other expenditures to close out fiscal year '23. That's a form of a motion.
Have a motion? Need a second. Have a second for Mr. Martin. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Next is $280,340, Director of Schools, amounts needed and projected salaries and benefits to close out fiscal year '23.
So moved.
Have a motion? Second?
Who's the motion by? Ms. Godwin?
Ms. Godwin. Second by
Yes.
Commissioner Arnold. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Next is $57,170.80, Board of Education, amount needed for projected salaries, benefits, and other expenditures to close out fiscal year '23. Form of a motion.
I second.
Move it to be approved.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Next is $117,800 for transportation. It's amount needed to close out fiscal year '23 on salaries and benefits, and that's a form of a motion.
Second.
Second. Mr. Arnold. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Next item is $470,500, regular instruction, amounts needed to close out fiscal year '23 in salary and benefits line. That's a form of a motion.
Second.
Have a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Next is $13,800, special education programs. Again, it's for salaries and benefits and other expenditures to close out fiscal year '23. That's the form of a motion.
Second.
Have a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Next is $38,350, vocational education programs. Again, salaries and benefits to close out fiscal year '23. And that's the form of a motion.
Second.
Have a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Next is $11,060 is for attendance. Amounts needed to project salaries, for projected salaries and benefits to close out fiscal year '23, and that's a form of a motion.
Second, Nehall. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Next is $373,290 for health services. Same purposes to close out salaries and benefits and other expenditures for fiscal year '23, and that is the form of a motion.
Second.
Have a second, Commissioner Arnold. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Next is $628,320, other student support, amounts needed for projected salary benefits and to close out fiscal year '23, and that is a form of a motion.
So moved.
Commissioner Godwin. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Next is $5,820, vocational education programs. It is for salaries and benefits to close out fiscal year '23, and that's the form of a motion.
We haven't already covered that.
Yeah.
Second.
There's a separate one, that's number 18.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Number 19, $1,200, community services, amounts needed for projected salaries and benefits and other expenditures to close out fiscal year '23, and that is a form of a motion.
So moved.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Last, $66,000, regular instruction programs, amount needed for projected salaries, benefits, and expenditures to close out fiscal year '23, and that is the form of a motion.
Second, Nehall. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
Mr. Chairman, that completes one very long budget report.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We've already dealt with 13, be out of number 14. A resolution to approve the economic impact plan for the Crossing Economic Development Area as requested by the Industrial Development Board of the City of Jackson. Commissioner, Mayor.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I believe the group's here that's proposing this project. This is in North Madison County. It's on Ashport Road between Highland and the 45 bypass. If you haven't heard about it by now, then you haven't been showing up to committee meetings, because I think Chris has given the presentation about a half a dozen times. So I just want to say that the city, the county, the chamber, everybody is on board for this. The very, very bird's eye view is 1,100 new doors, 1,100 new properties for people to live in, and that's what we need right now with the influx of people. We are at 99.5% occupancy in our apartment complexes, and if you are trying to rent a house right now, good luck. So we need good quality housing, affordable, not even affordable, but attainable housing, and this is going to bring that, as well as a unique opportunity for our community to have multi-use properties where it's not just a subdivision, it's going to be a subdivision plus commercial, retail, entertaining space, farmers market, all that good stuff. So I just want to say from the county side, the county leadership side, 100% support this, and we'd like to see it happen.
I want to also say that this will address some affordable housing issues. Some of the townhomes, I'm understanding, will be under the median sales price for our area, so that's going to help the affordable housing.
I need a motion.
What is the
Let me get a motion.
projected rental cost? Is it?
Let me get a motion on that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion, we approve this.
Motion. I have a second for Ms. Godwin. Okay, Jim.
What is the projected cost?
This is a gentleman right here. He'll be able to answer that question, for sure. What was the question?
Chris, come on down. Come on down,
Chris,
Chris.
come on down, please.
What was your question, Jim?
What is the projected cost for these buildings?
Yeah, total investment is $355 million. Our You may be asking, is there any cost to the county?
I think he's asking what the actual end user cost is, to purchase or lease a property or a townhome.
Yeah.
Actual cost for the buyers of
In the 200 range for the townhomes is where they're starting. The apartments, would be somewhere in that 1,300 and up.
Any other questions? Commissioner Wall?
Mr. Chairman, being from the district, and I've talked to several people who would be in the area, and everybody seems to be for this project. After studying it, and the three commissioners, Commissioner Bond, Commissioner Hicks, and myself, we support this, and we ask that it be passed for our district.
Does everybody have a brochure that he has? You got a handout. Did everybody get one of those? Jim, did you get one?
I do.
Like, show them what you got there in your hand.
Yeah, I did.
Did you get that, Jimmy?
Summary.
I didn't get it.
He'll give you one.
I didn't get one.
Commissioner Godwin?
What buildings is this, two-family, three, how many apartments, the townhomes? Are these 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms?
They start in
1 bedroom?
Be a mix, driven by the market and, targeting an affordable end of that. The apartments, 1, 2, and 3, townhomes, 2 and 3 would be what you see mostly in the marketplace.
Any other questions? We ready to vote? Roll call.
Abernathy,
Yes.
Day.
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Arnold,
Yes.
Black, Fine,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Bryant Senior.
Yes.
Bryant Mike,
Yes.
Ellison,
Yes.
Keaton,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Mercer,
Yes.
Montague,
Yes.
Nehoff,
Yes.
Taylor, Tippit,
Yes.
Wall,
Yes.
Watson.
Yes.
This is what I heard. I heard 23 yes, and we got 2 absent.
23 yeses, 2 absent. Motion passes. Chris?
Thank you very much.
We're
Appreciate it.
expecting great things from you.
Yeah, you're gonna get it.
All right,
Thank you very much.
Item number 15. Consideration of a resolution to rezone property located at 2990 Bells Highway from FAR, Forest Agriculture Recreation District to Office District. You got 5.86 acres, more or less. And we have Mr. Stan Pilot with us today.
Good morning.
Present it to you.
How are you?
Thank you.
Good morning. This item was presented to the Jackson-Madison Regional Planning Commission, and they are recommending approval of it to you. The office zoning will allow for a vet clinic to be constructed on this property,
Veterinary clinic.
a veterinary clinic.
Commissioner Hale.
You need a motion to approve now?
I do, yeah.
Motion approved.
I'll second.
A motion second. Any other discussion? Y'all only have standing question.
I just would like to get some clarity on exactly where this is. Is this where the cross is, just to the west of that?
Just to, yes.
Okay. I think that's in District 3. Yeah, y'all
Yes,
heard
sir.
from anybody?
And
I
they're-
have not heard anybody opposing this. I can say that a lot of people in our district travel to Bells for veterinary services. I think it'd
It's
be
for
an
the
asset
dogs.
to our
It's
area.
for the dogs.
Yeah.
We've had this property come up before, and in years past, it was proposed for commercialization, and people were a little bit uncomfortable with that. This is an office class, so it does not allow commercial, retail, that type of thing, anything heavier than just office. And I've also talked to the people that will be running it, and there's not going to be any boarding there. So that's another thing, because some people are concerned about barking dogs, so there's not going to be any boarding there. They'll just be treating animals.
Stan, is there any way to ensure that? I mean, could they a year from now say, hey, we want a board, and is there any recourse in the county?
Well, it's the way it was presented to the county. That's the way it's approved, and so I don't know if in terms of you get into some shaky area if you get into contract zoning, but conditional are, I think it's pretty clear in the public hearings that that's the way it was presented, so that's the way it would be treated.
Mayor, let it be said, let it be done. Commissioner Brown.
I'd like to play devil's advocate here with
Commissioner
the
Brown.
fundamental question. When I get a zoning, not violate my original request, who enforces it and what happens?
If you get a zoning and you're doing what that zone doesn't allow, if it's in the county, the Madison County Building Department enforces that.
Okay. How do you find out? On a person's complaint?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Any other questions? Ready to vote? It's a public hearing. Anyone here want to speak for or against this? Anyone? No one? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None.
And I will say the office class is a really restricted class, so boarding and kindling is more of a commercial activity, and I don't think it would be allowed in conjunction to the vet clinic. So this is more of a clinic operation.
Commissioner Tippett.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules to take up the resolution that, for rezoning on 138 Highway in West Madison County. We all got an email, and it's Sarah put on there to add to the agenda, but it wasn't, and we put it off last month. I'd like to.
I will say, again, there's still a little bit of confusion sometimes because you ask us to give you as much advance notice as we can possibly give. So immediately after it goes to the Planning Commission, we send the information to the county. Now, because of you requiring that we have 30 days between the Planning Commission meetings and your County Commission meetings, they can't be heard in the same month. So that's why you get the information a month ahead of time, but you don't really get it on your agenda till the next month. So in this case, you were sent the materials. It should have been on this agenda. It did get presented to the Madison County Planning Commission, and they are recommending it to you. So notice have been sent out. Public notices have been run. So there's not any violation of the public hearing process because of taking something up that hasn't been public notice been given. So that's the reason. It was just left off your agenda.
Have a motion to suspend the rules? Have a second? Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Okay. Now what's the motion?
Okay. The Madison County Planning Commission did hear this, and they are recommending approval of it to you.
Everybody understand? Where's the property located?
Highway 138.
Highway 138.
Okay, on Providence Road.
Providence.
What other information have you got?
It's on the west side of Providence Road. It's just, it's about midway down Providence Road between 70 west and the interstate. So it's on the west side about, again, halfway down Providence Road.
I have a couple questions.
Sure.
One, how does public notice go out for those? Because my concern is it's not on the agenda, so people who might look at the agenda won't see that it's being voted on at a particular time. How does public notice work?
We send out cards to property owners within 500 feet of any rezoning, so they get public notice. Now, public notice in terms of the notice that runs in the paper, we do that. But as far as I know, the public notice has been satisfied. But again, I don't have pure clarity on that.
Okay, because I mean, to me, it's a concern that it's not on the agenda, but it's going to be voted on. So people who are looking at an agenda to see if anything is going on in their district won't know that that's something that's going to be taken up.
Commissioner Alexander.
I was just going to know what this is, was a committee recommendation from the Outreach Committee.
Speaking of the committee, I was going to ask Stan to explain the zoning that was approved in the committee. I read the minutes because I'm on the committee, but the whole entire body did not get those minutes.
Okay.
Let this lady speak back here in the back.
I
own property at 103 Providence Road that's right across the street. And I did receive my notice in the mail, and I was here to speak in opposition of it. I don't know the gentleman that is trying to get it rezoned, but I do know the state of disrepair of his last record service and deceased store. I lack the confidence that the new property would be in any better condition in a few months. If I decide to sell my property or in a position to sell my property in a few years, I don't want my property value to be hurt by a potential eyesore across the street from me. So it would be my preference that the property remain as it is currently zoned and not rezoned to commercial.
I guess, there's a little bit of confusion. We send the cards out, so that's why you got a notice. What I don't know is the notice, the agenda that was published in the paper that's required for zonings. I'm not sure if that notice got run, if it was left off the agenda.
What was your name, please, ma'am?
Gina Morton.
Ms. Morton? Yes, ma'am.
I live next door where it's going, okay? He's already got the fence up in preparation for it. The cars will be hidden behind the fence. He's not gonna be running a convenience store. It's just gonna be the record service. That record service has been in the community for decades. It's just moving from one side of the interstate to the other.
Your name, please, ma'am? Your name?
Diane Bond.
Ms. Bond, okay. Who was up first? Commissioner Spratt.
Mr. Chair, so that we can put this on the agenda for next month, I really appreciate you ladies being here. Can we table this to put it on the agenda for the June meeting?
The thing that I don't know if all the information got to you in terms of all the things that transpired with this rezoning request. But the most important thing is I don't know if the public notice for the item being on the agenda got published. State law requires that notice go in the paper before a rezoning can be heard. So what I'm afraid of is if it was left off the agenda, you might have got everything from us, but because the public notice wasn't run, it would invalidate the zoning even if you took action on it, because it would not be proper because the notice in the paper didn't get run.
Commissioner Tibbs.
I'd like to know what's at the address, 103 Providence Road.
It's an empty field right now.
It's a trailer washed out.
Commissioner Bond.
I have a question. So up here it says the planning staff recommended denial. Can you explain that?
Providence Road is the westernmost area that has interstate exposure in Madison County. We see it as having tremendous potential in terms of Blue Oval and development, and the use that was being proposed it wasn't adjacent on the west side of Providence Road. It wasn't adjacent to an existing commercial. It didn't adjoin it. So it was a spot zoning in our case, but we also felt it was setting the wrong tone for the area, because again, record services sometimes are half junkyard, and I'm not a reflection on Ms. Turpin. I'm just saying that's what they tend to be. So that's what our position was. We're trying to protect this corridor so that we can get the highest and best uses in that area, since it is the most westernmost interstate accessible area with a lot of developable land. And I've already got another request that's coming in right behind this one. And so that was the reason. Now again, I say all that just because you asked. But again, I go back to the point that we can talk about it, and I can give you all the information that you need to know about it, but I'm a little bit concerned about taking action on it until we, because I'm afraid that we did not run the notice in the paper.
Mr. Brown?
Yes, sir. In total concurrence. And sensitivity to the planning commission and the varied opinions from the public. I think the greatest assurance to open government and accountability is to follow the recommendation of Commissioner Bryan. I move that we would postpone, table this and for the next meeting.
Second.
Have a motion, second to table.
Yes.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed?
No.
Roll call.
Can I ask this comment? Can we take down?
Let me get the vote.
Okay.
Mr. D,
Let's get the vote.
but I was standing here before you recognized, and I was standing about 2 minutes.
He tabled the motion, so when you table it, that ceases conversation.
But I'm getting a little upset with you.
That's okay.
Abernathy.
Is this a motion to table?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Adak. No. Alexander. No. Arnold.
Yes.
Black. Bond.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Bryant Simpson.
Yes.
Bryant Mike.
Yes.
Deaton.
Yes.
Ellison.
No.
Godwin.
Abstain.
Hill.
Yes.
Hall.
Yes.
Hicks.
No.
Johnson.
No.
Jones.
No.
Martin.
Yes.
Mercer.
Yes.
Montague.
Yes.
Neoff.
No.
Taylor. Tippit.
No.
Wall.
No.
Watson.
No.
Anybody want to change their vote?
Yes.
12 yes, 10 no, 1 pass, 2 absent. Motion fails. Table. Let me address one thing. Ms. Godwin, when somebody tables a motion, debate ceases. That's why I didn't call on you.
Before he tabled the motion.
Doesn't make any
I
difference.
was supposed to recognize before him, even though I spoke.
Sorry. But it was tabled. When tables, debate ceases.
Did you see this,
Commissioner Neal.
Mr. Chair, yes, I was asking earlier about the specifics of the zoning, and I don't think he fully answered the question for the commission.
Okay.
About what was the zoning, you know, what is it zone now, what is it changing to, et cetera.
Stan, he's asking you. Go ahead.
Well, what I was asking earlier was because the entire commission hasn't read the minutes of what was approved in committee, could you explain specifics of what the land is zoned for now, what is being zoned to, and any other information you think would be pertinent to that?
All right, this item was presented to the Madison County Planning Commission, and as stated, we didn't recommend approval of it, and the reasons being that the planning staff, we recommend denial of it. The area is in the western edge of Madison County and one of the closest areas with interstate access to Blue Oval. Given the amount of developable land, it has great potential for new development and redevelopment. Record service with the storage of wrecked vehicles sets the wrong land use pattern in motion and can lead to incompatible land uses. Protection of this corridor is vital to the future growth of Madison County and leads to the highest and best use of properties in the area. The rezoning request is not considered a logical extension of an existing commercial zone, since on the western side of Providence Road, it does not join an existing commercial zone. The staff would ask, and we also had a small area plan that was done at the time talked about. But again, that was our reason for recommending denial of it. Of course, the Planning Commission, they did recommend approval of it to you. So again, I'll be happy to answer any other questions that you have. And I wish I could verify that everything had been, in terms of public notice, had been run. But again, if you want to discuss it, that's fine.
What is
And I'll
it
recognize
zoned for
you
now?
soon,
Is
soon
it
as they
agricultural?
FAR.
And then it's getting zoned to what?
C2.
C2, what is that? What is
It's
that?
it's a general commercial class.
Who's up next?
And, okay.
Who's up next? Commissioner Wall?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I just want to say that this was a recommendation by the Planning Commission, or the board.
Outer region.
And, or outer region, I apologize. The thing is that I have family all out in this area. Mr. Tippett's talked to a lot of people out there. I've talked to a lot of people out there. This is something that Mr. Turpin has done for almost 40 years. He's been a part of this community. He's paid personally his taxes, property taxes, sales taxes, everything else for this community. Not only that, but he provides a service to the county for the sheriff's department and other departments as well. So the thing is that, you know, by denying him this on the basis of what the planning commission or the planning committee is saying that we just want to carve this out because of a what if or what could possibly or potentially be and things like that, and denying a 40-year citizen of our community that's provided for our community this long is just wrong to me. And I would recommend passing this, and then if it's something that we need to do that is void because of a public notice, then we can take it up at another time. But I recommend passing it and moving forward.
I have a comment and then a question. So first, we're about to get, I think, an influx of requests to rezone from what it sounds like. I think that being very cautious to do it correctly, I think being very cautious to do it strategically, and to be consistent across the board is something that's very important as we move forward, because we're going to see a lot of these. I don't think it's necessarily making a decision based on a what if, but saying there needs to be more of a holistic, strategic, and comprehensive plan to make sure that as we approve these things, it makes sense for the entirety of the county. And so that I recommend not approving the request. But I also just have a question. What happens if we vote on it today and we've not met the legality of public notice?
We'd have to do it again.
Commissioner Tippett?
I feel like we have met the qualifications to vote on it. Commissioner Ellison and I represent this district. All other commissioners in here, if you come up with something in your district, it's just common courtesy to go along with those commissioners in that district. Several commissioners are voting against myself, but Mr. Turpin has been in that community. I've been in that community. And how could anybody sit here and tell, you know, people that have been there their whole life what they want out there and what they don't want out there? And as far as Blue Oval is concerned, I'm not building my life around Blue Oval. And Madison, West Madison County, you never did tell us, Stan, exactly what the chamber is trying to do. Or you, as far as telling somebody what they can or can't do with their property in West Madison County just because it's close to Haywood County and all about Blue Oval. That's all. I mean, you know, you can vote against it, you can all vote against it, but, you know, it's just common courtesy. Commissioner Ellison and myself.
Sheila?
I heard what he just said when I heard the word Blue Oval. On our property, we're steady getting calls about our land, trying to take our land, and we're not selling it. So the bottom line, regardless of Blue Oval, these are people that have lived in the community, and that if he's been operating as a business, why not continue for him? You know, it hadn't been resolved. I mean, it just don't make no sense. You know, you're gonna sell the people in this county over Blue Oval. That's not right. So I'm sorry. I support the county commission in this district, and I support for us to move on and allow him to have what he's doing.
Commissioner Hale?
My question is process. I fully support commissioners in my caucus and others that are speaking on behalf of property owners. I think they should get to use their property in the way that they want to. That should fit into a total plan now because we're moving something forward. But my question is to our attorney. Have we followed the law?
Well, we haven't followed our rules, which state that a resolution should be placed on the commission agenda. Now, my understanding of this particular property, it was on the agenda last month, and it was tabled to this month. Now,
So we did notice then, excuse me for interrupting, so we checked our boxes for notification to the public. Then, was there supposed to be a second notice?
I don't know if notifications went out last month. This month, notifications from the planning department would have gone out to the affected residents in the area. But the agenda showing that this particular property was to be considered in a public meeting today did not go out.
Okay.
So,
last question. Does this body carry any liability for the county by moving this forward today?
well, ordinarily, if this was not controversial, I think it would not be an issue to suspend the rules and just take care of it. But because you have parties on both sides who are opposed or in favor of, I think policy-wise, it would be a good idea for the commission to table it until next month, put it on the agenda so that everyone who potentially might have an interest in it is aware of it.
So what I'm hearing from the body is we support this, we didn't communicate well to the public, and we can get this on the agenda for next month.
We hadn't voted.
We don't know what we ain't voted on yet.
Well, it's been tabled, and
I don't know that we know that the notice didn't go out.
Well, it did. You got an email. Every commissioner here got an email.
You got a resident up here that said she got it.
My question is about the notice. It's about the posting of the agenda in the paper, in which we did not do with it on the agenda because it was on the table.
Right, it was not on this agenda. Now, it was sent out in the agenda packet. The commissioners received in their email, you received the resolution related to this property. Now, I don't know if that went out to the entire public, but it was not on the agenda that went out to the public. Like I said, ordinarily, we could alleviate that by suspending the rules. But again, my advice would be, we have people on both sides of this. I think that it would behoove the commission to ensure that everyone who has an interest in this has noticed that it's being considered before the commission.
And let me just clarify that what I'm saying here is not about the notice and the stuff that you've got in your state law requires that any rezoning, that you must have public notice in a paper of general circulation before that rezoning is taken up before the legislative body. So that's the notice I'm talking about. I'm not talking about what y'all got. We sent out the cards because that's what we do. We sent out public notice. Yes, we sent out the notices to the residents because that's what we do. But you publish the notices that go in the paper, and so I don't know if that got done. And again, that's all I'm saying. And about Mr. Turpin, let me just clarify the planning's position so it's clear. This request is not so much about Mr. Turpin. It's about any commercial request. If you zone something commercial, then anybody else that's similarly situated will be able to get rezoning also. So it's not necessarily about Mr. Turpin, because I understand from some of you that you're comfortable with him. He's been doing business for a long time. But anybody else that comes down the pike that wants a similar zoning, that something, even if it's something that you're not comfortable with, will have the same ability to get rezoned. So that's just what I'm saying, and that's the gist of what you saw in my staff report. So.
Recognize this lady back. I'm gonna recognize this lady up here. Yes, ma'am. Go right ahead.
Blue Oval is not the end all, okay? There are citizens in this community that are wanting the changes that we're proposing, okay? I sold him land. You think I'd sold him land if it's gonna be a junkyard? No. He has run a reputable business. He has hauled cars from the interstate, from wrecks all over the place, okay? They're gonna be in a fenced-in lot. Will not be able to be seen from the road. A truck wash right across the street, you tell me how that's better. You've got commercial all up and down that road. So Blue Oval's great, but it could take decades for stuff to come this far into Madison County. I know that y'all are all banking on it. and that's great. But we need services as a community now.
Thank you, Mayor. Commissioner Ellison?
Thank you, Chair. I echo what Commissioner Tiffany says. Mr. Chairman's been out there all of my life, and there's never been an issue. And the community, we know him, and he has a business and has had it for years and years and years. And I don't see a difference in a new place versus where he is now. So I support this wholeheartedly.
Thank you.
And the notices did go out, but you say you mail them out. Those are the most important people should get the notice anyway, the one living in the community. I mean, everybody else over Jackson ain't got anything to do with it. That's our community.
I think the biggest issue is not whether they're gonna approve it or not, it's the process and whether the notice went out. Commissioner.
He said he sent the notice out. That's the most important thing.
Didn't go out.
He said
No,
he
public
sent-
notice didn't go out.
Pardon?
Public notice didn't go out.
What was that they got if it wasn't public notice?
That's the property owner notice.
Property owner.
We send those out, so they did go out.
It's gotta be advertised to the media.
What,
Commissioner Ray.
what do you have to do with that going on out in my district?
You want that?
What do you have to do going on out in my district?
Commissioner Ray.
I'm not sure
Is the
exactly
chamber
what
for
you're
this?
Uh,
Is the chamber for this?
That I don't know.
I don't have any idea.
Well, and he's talking about it being an eyesore, but look at what's on that road. Adult store, a bar, a truck stop that when I was with the sheriff's department, prostitution was going wild at. And so I don't think that a record service is gonna kill it.
Well,
And
again-
second of all,
Again, let me clarify one thing. The planning commission recommended approval of it to you. I was asked what went on in the meeting, and I told you what my staff report was. That's not the recommendation that's come before you today. The recommendation that's come before you today is the planning commission's recommendation, and they are recommending approval of it to you. So my recommendation, while it's a part of the body of information, has no bearing on what you're considering today.
okay, and then, one other thing that Tippett brought up, don't always count on that, support from the other commissioners. We got chicken barns all over Beach Bluff, and we didn't want them. We didn't get any votes on that. So don't hope for that.
Ms. Zerman.
Yeah, I'm not speaking for or against it. I just think this is a matter of not checking boxes necessarily, but of just transparency and doing it the right way. The state legislature just passed a rule that I think is going to go into effect in July, that we have to post an agenda 48 hours prior to the meeting. It's not on the agenda. So I have a problem with moving something forward. I would like for us to just take down the comments that were made in the public hearing, and we can read those again from the minutes. We can read their comments so that they don't have to come back twice. But if other people show up, we just don't want to check boxes and just make sure that we just want to make sure we're doing it right. That's my point.
Shoot.
Mr. Brown.
On several situations like this, ladies and gentlemen, where we pretty much at this type of impasse, I hadn't always agreed with it, but we went with the advice of the attorney. He's spoken to it. I think we may want to run that back through our heads again.
Commissioner Neal.
Two things, just a point of clarity, the committee, which I serve on, I was not the president, did vote 4-0 and 1 abstain for this matter, and I do call the question.
Call for question. Second. Have a second. Roll call. Vote on the motion.
In the discussion?
The rezoning.
We'll vote on the call for question, we vote on the main motion.
We vote on the question right now.
And who seconded the call for question?
Here.
Mr. Hill, okay.
Start voting, just start in
Do you want to
discussion.
do votes for it, or you want me to roll call?
Whether to
call for
vote on it
question?
today?
Whether or not.
In discussion.
Roll call. You're voting on the question, whether to vote on it or not.
Call for the question, all right. Ms. Abernathy. The motion is, do we want to end discussion or not?
Oh, yes.
Mr. Haggard, yes. Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Arnold?
No.
Black? Bond?
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Bryant, Cindy.
Yes.
Bryant, Mike,
Yes.
Deaton,
Yes.
Ellison,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Ms. Jones,
Yes.
thank you. Martin,
No.
Mercer. No. Montague,
Yes.
Neoff,
Yes.
Taylor, Tippit,
No.
Wall,
Yes.
Watson. It passed, call for the question.
It's the end of discussion.
That's call for the question, passed. 19 yes, 4 no.
14 yeses, 4 noes.
That's 19, I'm sorry.
19 yeses, 4 noes,
Two
2 absent.
Mr. Chairman, I'll change my vote to yes.
He changed his vote to yes. 20. Now we have a motion on the floor. We can have a motion to vote, or we can have a motion to table.
Move to table.
Have a motion to table?
motion on the table to,
Have a motion to table, have a second.
Got a second.
Roll call.
What are we voting on, Mr. Chairman?
To table it for next month.
Abernathy,
Yes.
Adak,
No.
Alexander.
No.
Arnold,
Yes.
Black, Bond,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Bryant, Cindy.
Yes.
Bryant, Mike,
No.
Teaton,
No.
Ellison,
No.
Godwin,
No.
Hill.
No.
Hall,
No.
Hicks,
No.
Johnson,
No.
Jones.
No. No.
Thank you, ma'am. Martin,
Yes.
Mercer,
Yes.
Montague,
Yes. Yes.
Neoff,
this is on tabling, right?
Yeah, roll
I
table.
never did this once, but no.
Taylor, Tippit,
No.
Wall,
No.
Watson. Motion to table is 8 yes, 15 no, 2 absent.
8 yes, 15 noes,
2 absent.
2 absent, motion fails. Do what? We have a pending motion on the floor to approve.
If you table it,
We don't have a motion on the floor.
We didn't approve.
Pending motion
So we're gonna go with Jay's
to approve.
recommendation. I know.
Calm down. Cool it down. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second. Before we do, I think we should allow our attorney to address this one more time, based on where we are in terms of liability.
Well, I mean, the liability is if this is challenged, you might have to vote again on it. So,
That's all.
yeah, I mean, you
Nobody's
know,
going to jail?
nobody's going to jail, no. But, yeah, it wasn't on the agenda, and potentially someone who was opposed to it could, contest
I got
the
you.
rezoning.
My comment to that is we voted today on stuff that wasn't on the agenda, but we voted. So
That's true.
It was several things.
We're gonna vote on it now, though.
It's a different.
Whoa, regardless of whether it's different or not, we can still vote on it. All right?
We're gonna vote on it. Commissioner Martin.
could I ask Stan one
Sure.
question before we? You said that if we pass this, then other people can come right behind with the same thing. And we can have that club.
Well, it'd have to be approved again.
Yeah, but we approved it for him. Why not approve for
Don't
somebody
mean
else?
you would, don't mean you wouldn't.
No,
Well, that's
but
the
once
thing.
again, right is right, wrong is wrong.
Stan needs to explain that right again.
Commissioner Arnold.
Stan, is this, spot zoning?
It is.
Thank you.
Are we ready to vote? Commissioner Tippett?
Far, what was the question? Spot zone?
Spot zoning. It's in
Everything up and down there is commercial. The property diagonally across the road from Mr. Turpin's putting in his record service is commercial. The next property is commercial.
It
The
is.
truck stop is commercial. The porn store is commercial. The record service is commercial.
Point of order, is the
But it's still zoned FAR.
No.
The question's
I didn't know they had a porn store.
That was on the table.
Questions been called for? No.
It has. Question was
Question
called
been
for
called
on
for?
the motion. It's time to vote on the motion.
Time to vote. We're voting on approving the zoning. Roll call.
Abernathy. Adat.
Yes.
Alexander.
Yes.
Arnold.
No.
Black. Bond.
Yes.
Brown.
Pass.
Bryant.
Pass.
The pass man.
She passed.
No. Bryant. Meister.
Yes.
Deaton.
Yes.
Ellison.
Yes.
Godwin.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Hall.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Martin.
No,
Mercer.
Yes.
Montague.
Pass.
Niehoff.
Yes.
Taylor. Tippit.
Yes.
Wall.
Yes.
Watson.
Anybody want to change their vote? Anybody?
That's what I heard. Yes.
Have 16 yeses, 2 noes, 5 pass, 2 absent. Zoning passes.
Thank you.
They did a great job.
Try my best.
Give Stan a raise.
I was trying to correct confusion.
All righty, here we go. Item number 16. Appointment of county building commissioner by the county mayor with this body's approval, 2-year term, Jeff Clark incumbent. Commissioner, Mayor.
Yes, sir. I would like to renominate Mr. Clark.
Need a motion. Have a motion? Have a motion?
Second.
Have a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 17, appointment of 8 members to the Municipal Solid Waste Planning and Regional Board by the county mayor by this body's approval, 1-year term, Alvin Jones, Mike Winslow, Billy Burkhead, Mark Ade, Kim Tedford, Gary Tippett, incumbent, and 2 vacant seats.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to ask that this be tabled until next month.
Motion to table. Need a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 18, appointment of 9 members to the Environmental Advisory Appeal Board by this body, 1-year term. Bart Wall, Mike Butler, Jim Holloman, Charlie Bird, Robert Mullins, Jeff Wall, Jeff Clark, Chris Todd, Eric Turner, incumbent.
Motion to reappoint.
Have a motion?
Second.
Have a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Moving right along. Item number 19, appointment of 7 members to the Madison County Property Code Enforcement Appeals Board. By this body, 1-year term. Ronald Overton, Joey Hale, Candy Overstreet, Mike Winslow, Bart Walls, Eric Turner, incumbent, and 1 vacant seat.
motion, so move, planning, I'm gonna make a motion to pass.
Gotta make this seat.
Make a motion, okay, we have one vacant seat.
There's so few that aren't employees anymore, I wanted to make sure. Would it be okay if I moved?
Well, I'll sit down and let you talk.
Okay. I move that we reappoint Ronald S. Overton, Mike Winslow, Bart Walls, and Eric Turner as incumbents.
Ronald S. Overton's not employed.
This is just based off the review, if we want to remove.
He was previously with the sheriff's department. He's
So we have a
retired.
sheriff's department person there?
Yeah, he's retired from there.
There you go.
Probably Captain Cleve Davis.
Cleve Davis?
Yes, he's over the trouble with
So.
I think it's Cleveland.
Cleveland Davis.
CLEVEN.
Cleveland Davis, Mike Winslow, well, I guess he'd be a new one. So the three incumbents, the motion is, we'll do in two motions to make it clear. Mike Winslow, Bart Walls, and Eric Turner is a motion.
Second. Have a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Continue.
The new ones to this, to make the 7 seats full, would be Mark Day, Richard Watson, Tony Niehoff, and Cleveland Davis. And that's a motion.
Second.
Have a motion second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Thank you very much. Item number 20, election of notary publics. Have a motion by Commissioner Brown. Have a second by Commissioner Arnold. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Item number 21, any and all matters related to, connected with matters set forth in items 1 through 21. Commissioner Alexander.
Everybody's asking a question about the resolution that was at your table. That's gonna be put off till next month. The resolution regarding Claiborne Drive will be put off till next month.
Okay. Commissioner Wall.
The attorney just advised me that we're looking at that last number 19. Candy Overstreet was with the health department. He is thinking that maybe we need that somebody from the health department is supposed to be on that committee.
Karen.
Shane Lee is the new environmental director that took Candy Overstreet's place, and I would recommend that he take Candy's place.
Who you taking on?
Just make a motion. Who taking off?
Just amend the motion.
We did that to Tony, we didn't talk to him about it, so.
That's right.
Just take Tony off.
It's fine with me. I'm on 11 already.
So I make a motion that we, for the Madison County Property Code Enforcement Appeals Board, that we now remove Commissioner Tony Niehoff and replace with Shane Lee from the Health Department.
Second. You have a second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Was there any other matters?
Commissioner, I would like to just give an update on Commissioner Harold Petty.
Yes, go right ahead.
Got to meet with him this weekend, and he is stable and doing well, and just wanted to send his love to everyone here. If you just be praying for him, they have don't know how long his journey is going to last, but I did spend some quality time with him. So just keep him and Judy in your prayers right now.
Thank you very much. I'd like to give an update on my wife. As some of you called and asked about her, she broke a hip a week ago, and it's been a pretty painful process for her, but she is slowly recovering. Slowly. Have a motion to adjourn? Yep. One more?
I just brought this up. There's a resolution that was here to establish speed limit on certain roads in Madison County. Do we? Put off for next. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Have a motion to adjourn. Have a second. Roll call.
Abernathy. Day.